video. This evening we're going to talk about one of my favorites, Neo. Neo. Neo's been out for a while. It's a great technology, a great blockchain. It solves a very, very, very important use case. And my favorite thing about it is that they're using leading edge technologies and languages that give developers the ability to implement it as easily as possible. It's one of the blockchains out there where they really took into account the idea of if something's going to be adopted, the developers of the world are going to have to be able to take that blockchain and implement that blockchain. And I'll get into that, but right now what we want to do is we want to take a look at the price. Currently, Neo is the number 24 ranked blockchain. It currently has a market cap of 1,396,205,000. So roughly, it's getting close to a market cap of 1.5 billion. I remember when that kind of a market cap would have got you almost in the top 10. Now you got to have a $6 billion market cap to get in the top 10. Well, with Bitcoin surging to its all-time record high of 41,000. Here we are on the 8th of January 2021. I'm going to go ahead and take a look here at some of the little stuff they have here on Coinbase. For those of you who are not familiar with what Neo actually is. What is Neo? Neo bills itself as a rapidly growing and developing ecosystem that has the goal of becoming the foundation for the next generation of the internet. A new economy where digitized payments, identities, and assets come together. Initially known as AntShares, this project was believed to be China's first ever public blockchain when it was launched in February of 2014. The open source platform subsequently rebranded to Neo 3 years later, as well as creating a worldwide community of developers who create new infrastructure for the network and lower barriers to entry. The team behind the project operate an EcoBoost initiative that's designed to encourage people to build decentralized apps, otherwise known as DApps, and smart contracts on its blockchain. It's often been likened to the Chinese version of Ethereum. Interesting comparison. Who are the founders? The co-founders of Neo and its predecessor AntShares are Da Hongfei and Egg Zhang. Both serve as chairman of Neo Foundation, which aims to promote the blockchain's adoption. I sure hope I didn't mispronounce their names. But these two, although Dong Hongfei has said that although the internet is a great invention, it has many flaws, and this means that every day consumers don't always have control over their own data. The entrepreneur believes blockchain applications will eventually go mainstream. Okay, one of them was the author of the Delegated Byzantine Fault Tolerance Algorithm, which aims to deter untrusted participants from taking part in blockchain's operation. This technology went on to be used in the Neo blockchain. He also served as the core developer for this network and is playing an instrumental role in development of Neo 3.0, the next iteration of the project's infrastructure. What makes Neo unique? One of the unique selling points of Neo blockchain concerns the continuous development, which helps ensure that it is future-proof and able to cope with sudden increases in demand. As mentioned earlier, the project has developed Neo 3.0, enhancing network security and allowing a greater number of transactions per second to be processed. Unlike many other blockchains, this network has two native tokens, Neo and Gas. While Neo serves as an instrument token and allows people to participate in votes concerning improvements to the blockchain, Gas is used to pay fees for the transactions that are being completed on the network. Few other blockchain projects also run a development fund to the extent that Neo does. EcoBoost launched back in 2019, and it was built as an initiative that provides full cycle support for high potential projects, including grants technical support, and promotion on social media. So the thing that's really neat about this, and we're going to go to their website while I give a little insight on what I've just read here. The thing that's really neat about this particular blockchain is they addressed governance. They addressed how they were going to vote in improvements to the blockchain, and it appears that it has enough flexibility that it actually can be upgraded, and that they even had enough forward thinking to figure out whether they were going to use one token for paying for mediation on the chain as opposed to having two, and they made the decision to have two that have two separate purposes. They have a beautiful website that just basically beckons and brings you in. Most of what I read you will find here also. What I want to bring to your attention here is some of the specifics. I alluded to earlier how they've been very serious about making this accessible to developers. And you can see right here, right on the first page, they talk about become a Neo developer. As most they build themselves as the most developer-friendly platform. Neo is supporting a global decentralized app ecosystem with its comprehensive suite of tools and resources to empower anyone from anywhere in the world to join Neo's vision as a smart economy. And then they list the languages: C#, Python, Java, JavaScript, and Go. Look at this highly active network, 2 million plus user addresses, over 500 million community members. They already got 100 plus decentralized apps being built, 300 plus technical contributors. This thing has the groundswell for adoption. When people start building, I think this needs to be probably on an order of magnitude of 10 here. We need 1,000 DApps. I would like to know the velocity of how many DApps are being developed. The other part of that is they may not know how many, but I would love to know what their actual velocity is and where they're getting that number from. I'd like to draw your attention also under the developer. They have this documentation tab. I'm not going to get into Neo 3.0 on this. I just want to draw your attention to the white paper. It does a very good job under the developer tab on the Neo site, where they talk about what these things are, what they consider a digital asset, what is digital identity, what is a smart contract, application and ecosystem, and of course and that's pretty much your framework. But it does a very good job of explaining, if you see these terms and you don't know what they mean when people say smart contract or digital asset, this is just an excellent overview of what these other blockchains are doing, as well as Neo. I'll read a little bit of it to you. Neo design goals, smart economy. Neo is the use of blockchain technology and digital identity to digitize assets, the use of smart contracts for digital assets to be self-managed, to achieve smart economy, okay, with a distributed network. Let's look at what they say, what a digital asset. Digital assets are programmable assets that exist in the form of electronic data. With blockchain technology, the digitization of assets can be decentralized, trustful, traceable, highly transparent, and free of intermediaries. And then they go on and say how the Neo blockchain addresses digital assets. I like this thing with the digital identity. Digital identity refers to the identity information of individuals, organizations, and other entities that exist in electronic form. The more mature digital identity system is based on the PK, the Public Key Infrastructure X509 standard. In Neo, we will implement a set of X509 compatible digital identity standards. This set of digital identity standards, in addition to compatible X509 level certificate issuance model, will also support Web of Trust point-to-point certificate issuance model. What they're saying here is they have a plan for how they're going to establish identity of individuals or organizations on their blockchain, and how these entities are going to be able to trade basically digital assets. And then they're saying, this is how we know who you are, this digital identity. This is what you're trading, this digital asset. Well, how do we move something from one entity to the other? Or how do we move an asset from one entity to the other? Well, that's their smart contract. The smart contract was first proposed by cryptographer Nick Szabo in 1994, only 5 years after the creation of World Wide Web. According to Szabo's definition, when a pre-programmed condition is triggered, the smart contract will execute the corresponding contract. So when you see all these things talking about smart contracts, the developers are writing code that basically establishes, hey, when someone pushes this button or somebody makes this decision, I've got some predefined code over here that allows the transfer possibly of one coin from one entity to another. Okay, or it could execute any manner of transaction, whether that's exchange of data and information, or whether that's inscribing the value of Neocoin from one ledger to another, or gas from one ledger to another. So this does an excellent job of explaining what the Neo platform is about: identities, assets, smart contracts, and how they're going to do it. What's their ecosystem? Ecosystem meaning what is the underlying foundation technologies to execute this framework. And they go into how they have web, Android, iOS capability, fully functioning full node PC program, light node PC program, wallets, SDK supporting, for Java, C#, .NET, JavaScript, TypeScript, Python, Go, Smart Contract Compiler, IDE. They've got all the framework necessary and the languages necessary that the developers of today are, pretty much up on in order to develop this entire set of dApps for the future. Whatever these future applications are going to be, they're not going to have to learn. They're not going to have to learn something that's way outside of their skill set in order to execute the building of dApps on top of the Neo framework. So, if we understand where this is leading us, what could possibly happen? What could possibly happen with the Neo coin that is currently number 24? Let's go back to Coinbase and look at this. A lot of times when we have record highs being set by the monsters in the cryptocurrency space, coins like this sometimes get overlooked, and people basically miss the utility because the hype is going to be on who's moving the most. So if I just were to actually, let's zoom in a little if we can and look at what's happened in the last 3 months. We can see that we're pretty much all over the place. A $17, what do we got here? We got ourselves a $17 price back in October of 2020. And here we are today, sitting around a $19 price. If we were to go and do a solid year's worth of data, we would see a $9 price, and now we're at a $19 price. You doubled your money. Okay? Like many of the other cryptos. But I would venture to say with this one, if we look at all the data and we go back to the first bull run back in 2018, the end of 2017, beginning of 2018, and we look at January the 29th, when the market cap for Neo was right at, look at that. Is that 10 That's about, ooh, look at that, y'all. That's $10 billion. That's $10 billion. Not 10 million, 10 billion. And the price is 167. Now, let's put that into context. We're way on the low end here. It is less than a fifth of its current all-time high market cap. Less than a fifth. Sitting at $19, and it has been as high as $144. Let's just round it off. It's sitting at around $20, and it has been as high as $140. That's 6 times. 6 times. So if I were to look at Bitcoin right now, which is really at its all-time high, Bitcoin's price was, sitting at the first bull run almost 20,000. And it has doubled 2 times. 2 times its all-time high at $40,000. So let's just say that the utility of NEO and its blockchain is very serious. And let's just imagine developers all over the world looking to find a way to be able to get cryptocurrency payments, via smart contracts. And they know JavaScript. They know Python, or they know C#, those languages that are underneath this framework. And so they run to this because this is not a big stretch for them to do, because this is what they develop in anyway. If that catches on, and the performance of NEO is similar to Bitcoin, if it follows the same pattern as what they think Ethereum is going to follow, the Bitcoin pattern, well, that would mean, number one, it would have to return to a price of $167, which is times that's times 5 right there. But since Bitcoin just doubled from its all-time high, well, that would be times 10, right? 5, so 10 times 20 is a $200. Let's see what we got here. If it double this, the price would be, nope, double the all-time high here is $167 times 2. Let's just call it $160. Double $160, you get $320. I think NEO does have the potential to be a $300 coin. It absolutely does. If Bitcoin can post a $40,000 price, and Ethereum can break through its all-time high and start marching towards where it would stand in regards to where it was when it's on the first bull run, why not? Why wouldn't NEO, with all the utility and capability and the use cases that it solves, not be capable of going to $300? So with that, this is my price prediction for NEO. $300, but I don't think it's going to happen in 2021. I think it may get halfway there, which would mean that it returns to its original all-time high at $167 in 2021, $160 somewhere in there, with doubling its market cap from there and going times 10 to $300 by the end of 2022. If you guys have enjoyed this video, please like and subscribe if you're not already a subscriber. And I thank you guys for all the support. Hope you've enjoyed it. I'll catch you on the next one.